All right, welcome everybody. This is going to be a weekly recap for the week ending on December 4th of 2020. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the course stats, but I want to address something that comes up quite a bit, and that is, Ken, how do you trade? Do you trade in the money or do you trade out of the money? And what is the best strategy? Should I be trading in the money or should I be trading out of the money? Well, that's a good question, and it really depends on the strategy that you're trading. The majority of people out there that are trading Nadex binaries are trading in the money, all right? Because that does give you a little bit of cushion. It's not the most profitable way to trade based on risk to reward, but you can make money trading in the money as long as you know how to manage your size, and that's real important. The advantage to trading deep out of the money is that you have a much better risk to reward. So let's talk about that. So let's say, for instance, you're trading in the money. Most people are going to be anywhere between $20 to $30 looking to profit when they're risking, $70 to $80. All right. So if you sell something at $30, you're looking to make a max of $30, assuming you carry it to expiration. And in this case, I am talking about 5 minutes, but it does apply pretty much across the board. So you're looking to make $30, but you're risking $70. So if you're wrong, you have to make what? You have to have 3 profitable trades if you're selling it at $30 in order to go into the green. Okay? But when you're trading deep out of the money, you can sell it for $80, $90. Now you're risking $10 to $20. So if you're wrong $10 to $20, you can be wrong several times. And once you hit a nice long streak, assuming you're carrying it to the close, you can cover those 3 losses or 4 losses because you're not risking very much compared to what your potential gain is. All right? The key to the way that we trade and the way that we suggest trading is, once you get to the point where you can be profitable trading in the money, and this is so important, you have to be able to be profitable trading in the money. You have to know how to manage your account size. Once you get to that point, the next thing to do is learn how to trade out of the money. All right, so the way this is set up here is my core strategy is designed to trade in the money. All right, they are patterns that give you with a high probability, as you can see in these stats. We'll talk about this in a minute. But they give you high probability of having a winning trade, assuming that you're just outright taking it without taking anything else into consideration, like which way is the momentum going and those types of things. So it's all, there's a lot of things you can do to filter out the stats that you're seeing. But these are naked, saying that when a pattern sets up and it says to buy or sell, you close your eyes, you buy or sell. These are the kind of percentages of wins that you would expect to get. So right out of the gate, the patterns are putting the probabilities in your favor. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be profitable trading onesies, because if you're trading in the money, there's no way you're going to ever be able to make money trading single contracts. If you're trading in the money, you have to be able to modify your contract size. There's no way you're going to be able to do it trading single contracts. And this is something a lot of people try to do it. A lot of people claim they can do it, but I've never seen anybody prove that they can do it. Because think about it, all right? If you're trading at $30, you're risking $70. You can have 4 trades where you make your money, and all of a sudden you have 1 trade and you have very little profit. If you have a second trade, you're back in the hole again. All right? 6 trades, 4 winners, and you're in the hole. Not the best way to do it. The key to trading in the money is you have to be able to look at whatever method you have, okay? The method has to give you some sort of indication of when the probability is higher in your favor than when it's not in your favor. So, for instance, let's say that you're trading single contracts. You're only picking up $20, $30 a trade. Well, if you have a setup or a method that says, okay, your probabilities are much higher now, in the 80s, 90% that you're going to have a winning trade. Do you really want to trade a single contract? The answer is no. The probabilities are over a long period of time, you're going to be able to put on size on those trades, and that's what's going to get your account growing. Now, once you do that, once you put on that size, you don't keep trading size. This is where people really mess up. It's like you're going to come in and you take a couple hits on size, during the trading day, and that's it. Everything else is onesies. So you're doing like onesies, onesies, onesies. Bam, you have a nice setup. You hit it with 2-3 contracts, and then you go back to ones again. Okay, that's the way to do it. The best way, to trade binaries is something that I teach in my crystal ball strategy. The difference is the crystal ball strategy allows us to trade deep out of the money. All right. In order to trade deep out of the money, your method, whatever it may be, particularly in this case, we're talking about a 5-minute move, right? Has to give you an indication when you're going to have a sizable move. If you don't know a move is going to be sizable, trading deep out of the money is going to do nothing but chop you up, because the probability is that strike that's way out of the money is probably never going to go in the money. And if it goes in the money, it's probably not going to stay in the money. All right? So the thing is that the method that you use, such as my crystal ball, tells me not only the direction of the move, but an indication of the size of the move. All right? And that's why the crystal ball is so powerful. So let's talk about size again. Do you want to adjust size with the crystal ball method? You can. You don't have to, but you should. And let me explain that. Okay, so you're trading the core method, all right? So you're putting on a single contract. So let's say you sell for 30 and you're risking $70, all right? You're risking $70. So if you're wrong, you lose 70. If you're right, you make 30. Okay, let's take just the opposite, and let's say I'm trading the crystal ball, and I'm selling it at 90, all right? I can sell 7 contracts at 90 and still risk $70. It doesn't have to go down to 0. All it has to do is go to 60, right? I've made my $30, but I made my $30 times 7 contracts instead of a single contract. So I'm taking the same amount of risk that I would with a core trade, but I'm taking the fact that I'm going deep out of the money, number 1. 2, I know the size of the move is going to be a big move. And 3, I don't have to stay to expiration. All I have to do is wait for the move to start, and then I'm going to get in, I'm going to get out. And that's the difference between the two. So the thing is, if you're trading in the money, you've got to learn how to stay to the close. You've got to capture maximum profit. Don't be trading in the money $20 and getting out every time you make $5 or $10. That's just absolute nonsense. If you're going to trade an in-the-money strategy, you've got to carry it to expiration. If you're trading deep out of the money, you can scalp it. You do not have to stay to expiration. That's a big difference. So what we do now is, the way this is set up, the way that I set it up, is we teach people how to trade in the money. That is the basis of everything. Learning how to trade in the money, learning how to be profitable. The next step is, once you learn how to trade deep out of the money, all the fundamentals, all the basics that you need to know, how to manage size and everything, is going to be so much more enhanced when you start trading the crystal ball method. First-time purchasers cannot cannot purchase the crystal ball method. I no longer sell it that way. The only way it's sold is people that have traded and mastered the core strategy, and when you get to that point, then you'd be ready to move over to the crystal ball. But I don't sell the crystal ball method to anybody anymore, because what happens is they skip the core and all they do is want to trade the crystal ball without having all the fundamentals down and understanding everything. And so they're not, it's like driving a Ferrari, right? You don't go from riding a bike to stepping on a Ferrari, right? You go from riding a bike, to buying a not a very expensive car, right? You work your way up so you learn how to drive that Ferrari. Otherwise, you're going to end up crashing and burning, and you're going to burn it on the Ferrari, or you're going to burn it on you. So it's like everything else in trading. You got to take the steps in order to get to the point to where you can start trading, okay, strong methods, but you have to have learned all the fundamentals along the way. All right, so that's it. In the money, out of the money, depends on your strategy. If you're trading in the money, once again, carry it to the close. If you're trading out of the money, deep out of the money, you can scalp. Don't have to carry it to the close. Sometimes you can. Most of the time, you're not gonna want to do that. All right, let's look at our stats for the week. Still very good overall. Still yen sitting in the 70 percentile. You know, always Aussie and Euro, always really good. 76 on the Aussie, a little bit less on the Euro, but that doesn't concern me because I know that the Euro will come back anytime it starts dripping below that 70%. A drop below 70%, I know it's going to come back pretty strong, so I'd expect Euro to start heating up as we go into coming into this next week. Pound, surprisingly, not really know what's going on with the pound, but I've been talking about the pound a little bit lately, how it seems to be coming into its own, and I mean, we're seeing some pretty nice numbers now, 70%, 92% at night. Is that going to continue? I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't expect it to because I know the history of the pound, but Aussie, Euro, yen, obviously extremely solid. So trading 5-minute index binaries, those are always going to be your three main pair to trade. All right. Canadian dollar, which I don't show in here, U.S. Canadian dollar is also a very, very good pair to trade, but it depends the pattern. Every pattern, there's different. I have 5 different patterns. This is the PAP pattern. PAP works good with the Canadian, but we also have other patterns that work as good, if not better, with the Canadian, because once again, they all have a little bit different personality, right? So every market or every pair is going to have its own kind of unique personality, and so we adjust our trading approach based on the personality of that particular pair. First trade of the day, once again, don't ask me how it works. People were amazed that are in the live chat room. They will tell you. We can't explain why it works, and I'm being 100% on it. Whatever that first trade is coming out of the gate at 8 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, tends to be a winner. Stats are showing it again this week. 80% in the morning. Of course, we only traded 4 days, right? Night, 100%. Man, I tell you what, I mean, I've always said it's probably not a good way to trade, just take a one trade a day. But you know what? I guess with the right money management, if somebody wanted to do that and actually had the discipline, which I don't think anybody does, you could probably develop a very, very good strategy just taking that one trade every morning, coming in, taking your trade and getting out. And then if it doesn't work, then work on size adjustment and, maybe add on to your next one. Keep track of your trades and see what are the probabilities of having 2 winning, first trades of the day are a loser. If Monday is a loser, what is the probability of Tuesday being a loser? What I have found is pretty slim, but nonetheless, I think you do some creative things with it. Personally, I don't like trading just one time a day. I did start off doing that in the very beginning. I'd have an objective. Once I hit it, I'd get out, which is usually my first trade of the day. Sometimes I didn't hit it, and so I'd take 2 other shots at it, and I had like a 3-shot maximum because I wanted to spend the rest of my day doing whatever I needed to do. I didn't want to sit in front of the screen and trade all day. But most people cannot just trade one time a day. Okay, that's just, if you can do it, I think you can develop a great strategy. For me, I do like the action. I like the opportunity. I like to have multiple opportunities, right? So that's just the way that I am. If you have the type of personality where you just want to, if you can trade just and be disciplined, take a one trade a day, and knowing that you have a loss and walking away and being okay until the next day to look to make your money, that's fine. Most people can't do it. But that's, depends on the individual, I guess. So anyway, first trade of the day, just something magical about the first trades of the day. Always very consistent winners. Just in the morning tends to be very good anyway. And I do talk about that in the core package. There are certain times of the day which are really good, and then there's times of the day that get very choppy. So you lighten up or just step away. Personally, I like to step away. And then there's times in the evening that are really good to trade as well. So once again, understanding the personalities of each one of the pairs is important, but also what is the best time to trade them, right? So that's important as well, something that we go through in the core package. My CB trades, once again, these are the trades that I'm personally making. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. Some make more, some make less, just depending on the size of your account, your risk tolerance, which particular trade you're taking, whether you're putting size on a particular trade or not. Where I may see something strong and maybe put on 2 or 3 contracts, somebody else may just put on 1. So everybody's results are going to be a little bit different. I may get in a little bit sooner, so I may get in a little bit later, and or vice versa. So I've seen people, I've seen days when, you know, I make very little and somebody else did extremely well. So once again, it's it all depends on the individual trader. But CB is my pride and joy. It is the best thing that I have. It is my focus and the way I trade, because I love trading deep out of the money. And CB tells me and will indicate whether I want to trade in the money or out of the money, right? So small move, not going to be doing deep out of the money, so I'm going to be doing in the money. If it indicates a big move, I'm going to be doing out of the money, deep out of the money, right? Because I know that I can go ahead and I can sell at a much higher premium, and I don't need that much of a move to make money like I would on an in the money option. So anyway, that's kind of where we are. Another great week overall. Also, these numbers, if you've noticed, I'm pretty consistent about what I make on a weekly basis. That's real important. I don't know if you guys ever thought about that, but you know, I've been doing this for 40 years, and I can tell you what you don't want to see in any kind of methods. You don't want to see one week where they're making 10,000, then next week they're making 700. Then the week after that they're making 300, next week after that they're making 4,000. I mean, the problem is it's not very consistent. This is very, very consistent, okay? And so that's an important thing to remember, is that not only is something, is it profitable, does it work, right? And once again, profitability really gets down to the individual trader. But once you master it, is it consistent? And the answer is yes, it's very consistent. Just like my stats, all right? You've been watching these stats for 2-3 years now with me. Very, very consistent on the first trade of the day. Been watching the CB trades, very consistent. But once again, this is something you have to master like everything else, all right? Do not think that you are going to be what I call a hobbyist trader. You are not going to be able to trade CB or core coming in and trading 1 hour a day. You've got to put time and effort into it to learn how to do it, okay? If you don't have the time and the effort, then I suggest give up trading, because nothing out there, okay, nothing out there is going to allow you to just buy a signal, put it on, and think that you're going to make money. If you think you're going to do it, try it. I promise you it won't work. You can't make trading mechanical, folks. It will never be a mechanical process. I don't care about all you engineers out there that think you can engineer it. Trust me, the smartest minds in the business think about it. Why do these big houses have traders when they trade their big mutual funds? Okay? Why don't they just put a computer in there instead of paying these fund managers millions of dollars? Because there has to be a discretionary element to trading. That is reality. If you think that you can beat it and make it mechanical, then if you do it, you need to go to a big house and sell it to them and make millions and millions of dollars. All right? That's what you need to do. But I can promise you, you're not going to find it. So if you want to be a trader, you got to learn how to trade. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort. So I know there's a lot of advertisement out there that make you think it's simple, it's easy, and all you have to do is just do exactly what they tell you to do, and you're going to make all this money. That's just not going to happen. All right, I got another word for it, but I don't want to say it. But it's just not going to happen. All right. So that being said, I hope that everybody have a great trading week. Yes. Even though we're going to the holidays here, we're getting closer to Christmas, we're going to have some just fantastic opportunities. So don't think that December's going to be slow. December's not going to be slow. We're going to have some awesome opportunities to make some money. So December's going to be a really good month. So I'm expecting a really good week coming up, next couple weeks here, and then right after Christmas, same thing. So if you're thinking about trading, not a bad time to start right now. Get in and start learning these binary options, start making some money. If you like my videos, as always, please give me a thumbs up. Also, please make sure that you subscribe. I do have a new video coming out that I'm going to provide a little bit of free information on people that are trading binaries. You know, do you trade 5 minutes? Do you trade dailies? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Those types of things. I think it'd be helpful for everybody that's trying or getting into trading binaries. And there's just so many options. You know, who do you trade with? Do you trade with Nadex? Do you trade with somebody else? All real good information that I think will help you along the way with your trading if you decide you want to do binaries, which personally I think is the best instrument to trade compared to anything else out there. But anyway, that's it. Everybody have a great week, and we shall see you next week on our next weekly update. Take care.